What Democrats could lose with their left turn. A survey experiment shows that some independents are already being turned off. Hey, you know how I know this is true? I'm an independent who leans left, and I've been turned off by it for a while because I've been following it and paying attention. Many people who aren't watching the news every day, who don't know the full details, aren't privy to the information I am. Now, many of you who watch, who find yourselves as moderates, independents, centrists, etc., who watch me, you're in the know. But I've had conversation with friends and family members, and the lies that they repeat, the fake news, it's said. And so I challenge it. I call them out and say, hey, that's not true. Prove it. And then all of a sudden there's a ding, like, whoa, what? I didn't know that. I wasn't paying attention. This story is probably confirmation bias time. At 6 o'clock, they're repeating what I already believe. Therefore, it's going to play perfectly into my cognitive dissonance. Or is that the right way? Whatever. You get the joke I'm trying to make. Check out this graph. Negative reaction among independents. After reading about the Democrats' leftward shift, independents in a survey were 6 percentage points less likely to say they would vote for a Democrat for president in 2020 compared with the control group. Bravo! Good job, Democrats. I'm continually impressed with your inability to understand this. Actually, no, I'm going to throw some sympathy over at Nancy Pelosi, who very clearly gets it, but she's lost control of the party. She can't do anything. You know, the Democrats are fractured. Pelosi has tried and failed. And here you go. Look at that swing. That is insane. 6 percentage points less likely to say they would vote for a Democrat. That means in the event the Democrats lose 6 percentage points, Trump may gain some of those percentage points, but at the very least, if Trump and the Democrats are 50-50 and the Democrats lose 6 points, Trump wins. If Trump gains some of those points, well, then Trump really wins. If Trump is, 45-55 and the Democrats go down 6-49 and Trump goes up to 51, he wins. You see how the swing is going to play out? Let's read this story and all gloat in our confirmation bias. I'm half kidding, by the way, but yeah, for real, I get it. But I think it's correct. Based on the research I've done, the stories I've read, I believe this is predictable. It's what I've predicted, and then there it goes. New York Times drops it. We get it. And the New York Times has been pretty bad lately. They say, one defining feature of the Democratic primary so far has been the party's leftward turn. In recent debates, candidates have supported policies like offering health insurance to undocumented immigrants. Full stop. That's not true. That is absolutely not true, New York Times. Fact check. Many of you are probably watching saying, what do you mean it is true? No. They said they would give government health care to non-citizens. Health insurance is a different question. You want to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants? I got no problem with that. That implies they're paying for it, right? Okay, people should have health care. No, they were talking about taxpayer-funded health care going to people who aren't citizens. That's a step over the line. That's actually so far past the line. I don't even know where the line is anymore. We passed it miles ago. And commenters have warned about the potential electoral penalty of repelling persuadable voters. Case in point, me, I've repeatedly said this. Listen, the middle could go to Trump, could go to the Democrats. You want to abandon the middle for a new potential far left voter base? By all means, go and do it. But you're sacrificing the moderates. People don't realize Trump didn't reach into a bucket of far right deplorables. Trump reached out to uninitiated moderate voters in this country. That's what he did. The Democrats now, many of these progressives like the Young Turks think they're going to do what Trump did and light up voters who've never voted and get those progressives on board, but you're not reaching for the middle, which means you can get the new left, fine, but the middle is going to abandon the Democrats or go Trump, and you will lose. Political science research suggests that moderates generally fare better in elections. Who would have thought? But much of our current understanding is speculative. There has been little directly relevant data on how voters are reaching in the moment. Are swing voters being put off? Yes. Are Democratic voters excited and more likely to stick with their party? The answer to that is yes as well. In a recent survey experiment I conducted, the evidence pointed to both these possibilities, but with one pattern, much more pronounced than the other. The embrace of progressivism solidifies support among Democratic survey respondents when thinking about the 2020 general election, but it repels independents with a negative effect that is stronger and clearer than the signs of enthusiasm generated among Democrats. It may be early, but the proposals from primary candidates can already have an effect. As the survey experiment showed, It was administered to 3,973 Americans on the online panel of the Democratic data firm Civis Analytics over the course of a week in mid-August after the first two Democratic debates. The experiment's procedure was simple. A random half of participants read a news snippet illustrating the leftward shift, while the other half read about unrelated topics, such as the schedule of election dates. The news item was a few sentences that included policies discussed by the candidates, decriminalizing unauthorized border crossings, expanding undocumented immigrants' access to government services, replacing private health insurance with a government-run system, and establishing free public college for all children from working-class families. The content was drawn directly from real news coverage. Both sets of respondents, when indicated how they planned to vote in 2020, whether for Trump or the eventual nominee for the Democrat side, how strongly they were considering voting Democratic, and how motivated they felt to turn out and vote for or against the Democratic nominee. Because of the random assignment, with some reading about the policy positions and others reading innocuous, unrelated information, the difference in responses between the groups can be attributed to the effect of reading about the leftward shift. Woo, bravo! News media. The more you cover this, the more the effect takes hold. So I can understand why there are a lot of people who like what I do. The more I inform people that the Democrats are shooting to the far left, the more the people in the middle wake up to the problem that is the Democrats' leftward lurch. We all want sane, rational policy. We all disagree in some capacity, but we can talk about it, move forward, and begrudgingly accept compromise. The far left can't. They demand impeachment. They demand an end to fossil fuels. They want free college, free jobs, guaranteed jobs. Not free jobs, but guaranteed government jobs. So here's the chart. We can see that the independents have the biggest swing, and it's a 6 percentage point swing. Republicans seem to be the least amount. It's a weird graph to read, I got to be honest. I'm not quite really sure what they're trying to get with this. They say when deciding between Mr. Trump and the Democratic nominee, voters in the middle, the independents who could ultimately tilt things in Trump's favor, became 6 percentage points less likely to vote Democratic after reading about the leftward turn compared with the independents who had read about the innocuous content. Small boost among Democrats. When Democrats who read about the leftward shift were asked how strongly they would consider voting for the eventual nominee, their support increased modestly by 3 points on a strength of consideration scale. Now here's the important point. Democrats going to vote Democrat. It doesn't matter if they're more likely to or not. They're Democrats. They identify as Democrats, and they want to vote for Democrats. Independents aren't sure. And guess what? Lo and behold, when the uninitiated moderates or independents are now privy to the left-wing swing, they immediately switch and say, whoa, not all of them, 6 percentage points. Democrats and Republicans were much more settled in their vote preferences than the independents in the survey. But when Democrats who read the news snippet were asked how strongly they would consider voting for their eventual nominee, they moved more emphatically in support of. Great, by 3 points. Congratulations. A slight gain for people who are already going to vote for you. Democrats, you need to win the moderates. Trump is going to take the right and the middle. And we all know it. I don't know. I can make a million videos talking to you about it, saying, this is what's going to happen. I'll stress for the millionth time. I'm not gonna vote Republican because I don't like the Democrats. I'm not gonna vote for the Democrats because I don't like the Republicans. That's not how I play. If you can line up with specific policy positions that I agree with and am passionate about, you will attract my vote. That's how I play the game, okay? I'm not going to be one of these people who's like, certainly you must vote for Trump now because the Democrats are so bad. No. But don't worry, Republicans. Don't worry about calling me like someone who refused to be red-pilled or whatever. Don't worry about it. Because trust, I'm not going to vote for Biden or Warren or Bernie or any of these people. Tulsi. She'll get my vote. So complain about that. But if you're in the middle, I'm willing to bet there's a lot of you who agree that, man, who do we vote for, right? I do like Tulsi. She really let me down with that impeachment flip-flop. I'm really, really not okay with that. I do not like that. That is not how you win. That is not how you make this country better. That is not how you improve relations between the left and the right. It is how you make it worse. And that's why I supported her. And that's frustrating to me. And for those of you on the left that are sane, okay, I understand there are insane people everywhere. So I'm specifically talking about the fringe Twitterati nonsense. I know most of the left is actually sane. I'm not trying to be a dick. If you're wondering how we can get more Democrats on board with Bernie or Warren or whoever, this data needs to be taken seriously. You can get Bernie the win. You can. Moderates would vote for him. But you've got to address the more insane. Listen, when Bernie says things like, we're going to make sure you have affordable health care, it may increase your taxes. Okay, you're going to hear moderate groans. But when you come out and say, we're also going to decriminalize border crossings and give government-funded health care to non-citizens, they immediately walk out the door. So you can get some of your policies in, but you got to compromise. So Democrats, pay attention, okay? And that's why, look, Joe Biden's not the guy. I'm sorry. Joe Biden's not the guy. And that's why I don't think the Democrats have anybody. They go on to say, at the same time, playing to the Democratic base seemed to have its limits, with no evidence suggestive of mobilization potential. Democrats who read about the leftward positions did not indicate they were more motivated to vote and campaign for the eventual nominee. Exactly. You already got them. Congratulations. You've convinced the choir, okay? You've preached to the choir, you've convinced them, and now they're going to show up for mass. Congratulations. Now the people outside who say, I don't know what this church has to offer, are hearing insane proposals and they're leaving. You catch more flies with honey. I know there's a good counter to that point. I'm not going to say it, though, because I'll get in trouble. The research suggests a double-edged sword, but with one clearly sharper side: the potential of producing Republican gains among a key swing group. Wow, it's almost like I predicted this every day for the past 8 months, nonstop, repeating myself almost in every video multiple times per day. In today's episode of Tim Repeats Himself for the 800 millionth time, but this time with a new story backing up his predictions, you are pushing people to Donald Trump, and the data proves it. The data shows you are creating the potential for Republican gains among key swing voters. I hope you're happy. My joke conspiracy theory is that the Democrats are purposefully trying to get Trump reelected. Like, why else would they keep doing this? Trump raised $15 million in a couple days when they announced impeachment. Now, the media will have you claim it's so bad for Trump. Oh, please, dude. You are not going to change the minds of diehard Trump supporters. And as we can see, the far left lurch is pushing independence away. You know what? Actually, hold on. Let me stop. I think it all makes sense now. The reason the Democrats are focused on impeachment is because they're aware they have no policies. And if people actually find out what their policies are, they're going to vote for Trump. So there it is. They have to make sure they're talking about Trump because their policies are garbage. There you go. I really do think that's what it is. Anyway, I got a couple more segments coming up in a few minutes. Stick around. A Democrat was just Me Too'd again, accused of impropriety. Stick around. I'll see you in a few minutes.